The goal of this lecture is to help you understand how you are supposed to use Windows Server 2016. We're going to cover various key components that are commonly used by system administrators who manage Windows Server 2016 servers. The primary way that you manage your server is with a program that is included with all versions of Windows Server called Server Manager. When I say all versions of Windows Server, I not only mean Data Center and Standard, I also mean Server 2012, Server 2008, and going back further. By default, Server Manager will launch when the operating system starts. But if it doesn't, you can start it by clicking the Windows button and selecting Server Manager. Server Manager allows you to manage your local server as well as other servers on your local network. From here, you can manage the computer name, IP address, firewall settings, Windows updates, view events, services, and much, much more. On the left pane, you will see the dashboard, local server, all servers, and file and storage services. The first three items relate to the server or remote servers. The fourth is a server role called file and storage services. Note that this is installed by default. Whenever you install new server roles, they will appear in this left pane. The dashboard gives a quick overview of your server and allows you to configure the server quickly. If there are any issues with the local server or the remote servers, such as a service that failed to start, you will see them on this screen. To see errors with the remote servers, you need to first add them as a remotely managed server. Errors with the remote servers will be shown under the All Servers section. The Local Server tab will give you detailed information about the server you are currently logged on to. If you need to change anything from the computer name, domain membership, firewall, network settings, etc., this is the place to do it. You will also have all your events and services listed here, and this is much more detailed on the Local Server tab than on the dashboard. There's much more to the Local Server tab, but this is the most important parts of it. The All Servers tab allows you to view the same events, services, and other information, but you cannot change the computer properties such as the computer name, network information, and firewall settings. The last tab is File and Storage Services. This server role includes technologies that help you set up and manage one or more file servers, which are servers that provide central locations on your network where you can store files and share them with other users. Now, I could do a whole course on just this role right here, but we're not going to focus so much on this in this course. Now let's talk about two key terms that you must know in order to successfully work with Windows Server 2016: roles and features. A server role is a set of software programs that allow a server to provide a specific service to its network. An example of a role would be adding a DHCP role to our server. This will allow the server to act as a DHCP server. Features are individual software programs that are sometimes required to be installed by roles, although they can be independently installed without roles as well. You can add or remove roles and features by selecting the Manage button on the top right-hand corner of the Server Manager window and selecting either Add or Remove Roles and Features. The window for adding and removing roles are nearly identical. One allowing you to check checkboxes for roles and the other allowing you to uncheck role checkboxes. This will become more clear when we get to the Roles and Features screen. If you open the Add Roles and Features window, you will be presented with the Before You Begin tab. This tab has no functionality and is simply informational, so I recommend that you read it over and then check the Skip this page by default checkbox and click Next. The Installation Type tab gives you two options. The first option is the most common and is for installing roles and features on a single server. The second option is for installing roles onto a virtual machine, which has nothing to do with VirtualBox, and we're going to just choose the first option and click Next. If you have added remote servers to manage, then they will be listed here. We have not. You can also choose to install the roles on a virtual hard disk. Unless you're using Hyper-V and we're using VirtualBox, you likely won't use the second option. Just leave it at default and click Next. On the Server Roles tab, you will choose any of the roles you would like to add to the server. If you only want to install features, you do not have to check any of these checkboxes. For this lecture, we're going to install and uninstall roles and features so you understand how it works. Choose the Fax Server checkbox. You will get a pop-up stating that you need to add additional required features in order to install this role. Click Add Features and then click Next. The Features tab looks very similar to the Server Roles tab. If we had not selected any roles to install, we would not be able to progress past this screen. It is important for you to know that you do not have to install any server roles, but you must at least install features in order to complete this wizard. The features required by the fax server role are already checked for installation, so simply click Next to continue. The next screen will prompt us about the new fax server role we are installing. Generally, when you add a new server role, you will have some type of informational tabs added to the wizard. Click Next through the prompts, and when you are brought to the Server Role Services tab, you can check additional services if you would like them. Since this role is temporary and just an example, I'm not going to include any of these optional role services. Click Next. Now we are brought to the Confirmation tab. If you would like, you can check the Restart the Destination Server checkbox, but I'm going to leave it unchecked since I plan to uninstall the role immediately. As a general rule, it is a good idea to check this checkbox. Click Install and you will be brought to the results window. Now note that you may close this wizard at any time now. The installation will still continue. Once the window is closed, you may view the progress by clicking on the flag icon on the top right hand corner of the Server Manager. Once the installation is complete, refresh Server Manager by either pressing F5 or by pressing the refresh button next to the notifications button. On the notifications button, you will see a new notification stating that you must complete post-deployment configurations. Just about every role that you install will require some type of post-deployment configuration. Since we're about to uninstall this role, we do not need to complete this. Now, let's uninstall the newly installed role by clicking Manage, Remove Server Roles and Features. Click next to the prompts, choosing the same settings we did when adding the server role. When you get to the Server Roles tab, uncheck the Fax Server checkbox. You will get a pop-up stating that you can remove the features that were required by the server role. Notice that this list is not exactly the same as the features we were required to install. This is because we will need to uninstall additional roles as well. Click the Remove Features button and uncheck the Print and Document Services checkbox. Again, you will be prompted to remove features that are required by the role. Click the Remove Features button. Now just click Next until you reach the confirmation window. This time, check the Restart the Destination Server automatically if required checkbox and select Yes when you receive the warning message about the reboot. Click the Remove button and wait for the uninstall to finish and for the server to reboot. Now you understand how to use Server Manager and you know how to install the most important things with Windows Server 2016, which are roles and features. Great job, and I will see you in the next lecture.